Hello and welcome back to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audiofic. This is the AU series, Our Winter's Dream, and I know it's not winter, it's spring, but bear with me. I hope you're enjoying it so far. It's a twist on the story, so it's different, but it's good. Massive shout out and thank you to Marge for the use of her beautiful, stunning, commissioned artwork in the thumbnail. So make sure you go and send her lots of love. All the information is down below. Make sure you send me lots of love for writing and narrating this story by smashing that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and what will happen next, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on future parts and chapters. Now it's coming back. Enjoy. Chapter 5. Adrien struggled to set his mind straight as a torrent of thoughts and emotions swirled around his head like a whirlpool. And now this? He had been right on the edge, one final step, and she might have been willing to listen to him, given him a chance for her to believe him, discover that the author had made this world and distorted her memories of Adrien. And just when he was finally making progress, his man suddenly popped up, bumped into her as if it was a meet cute from a rom-com. No. Whoever this guy was, Boniface, he couldn't remember such a name, and he was only semi-handsome with his dark hair, which was styled in a way that it swept forward like a thick fringe. His eyes seemed to be hazel in the glowing light, with a shape much like Marinette's. Okay, they might have a cultural link, but that wouldn't sway her. He faked an internal laugh at the idea as he watched this Boniface take a step closer to Maria, and he was powerless to stop him, wasn't he? Boniface? That's interesting. Adrien interrupted and took a step closer to Maria. I wonder if you remember me, since you clearly remember Maria. It's Adrien. Oh, yeah. You guys were friends at one point. Well, before the incident. He looked at Maria as she tilted her eye to the ground and then shifted his sight to Adrien. The gaze held a challenge, daring Adrien to deny it, whilst he could swear there was a hint of a smirk. What was this guy's deal? Yeah, it's been a while, but I bet nothing has changed. You belong in another world compared to the rest of us. He paused for a split second before letting out a light chuckle that didn't sit right with Adrien. I mean, your face is everywhere I go. It must be hard for you. Is that why you are never around? Boniface said through a wide grin and a shrug of his shoulders. I hope you don't mind me asking, but I always thought it was strange how you sell yourself. Your image, I mean, to the point it is plastered around Paris, and yet... Boniface shifted his step towards Adrien and pointed at the scarf, which was covering half of his face. It doesn't seem like you're able to show it off for yourself. To the point it could make your company uncomfortable. Adrien instinctively positioned himself between Maria and this guy, ready to defend. I don't think it's any of your concern. Wow. Who was this guy, and how did he know where to exactly stab and cause pain? How does he even respond to that? Speaking of company, friends, why don't you join us? I'm sure the rest of the group would love to catch up too. In one move, Maria took a step forward and reached out to Adrien's wrist, shifting him behind her, giving a warning tap not to cause a scene. Plus, the whole scarf thing, you kind of get used to it, including the obstacles. Maria removed her hand and gestured to where friends were next to another booth. Adrien couldn't help but feel a spark of hope at her sudden touch, a gesture she had performed countless of times in their reality, but how much he missed it now. For a split second he thought maybe his Marinette was starting to break through this Maria. But as a hand dropped from his sleeve, he was left alone in the void again. Adrien racked his brain, trying to think of what situation the author could create to cause all of the problems they had faced in this world. What if it was like the time he and Marinette had finally declared their love for one another, only to face his father, before the reveal? Was it? Was that it? the social class distance everyone talked about. But then again, in the actual world, he and Marinette had fought to be together, no matter the cost, which led to their partner reveal that much more special. Wait. In this world, there doesn't seem to be a Miraculous. No heroes, no reveal. So if Adrien didn't fight for Marinette, would that be the end of their relationship before it began? Did the author make Adrien into a coward here? My mistake. Guess I'm not used to being around celebs and their so-called disguises. Boniface let out a laugh which was aimed at Adrien before switching his attention back to Maria. Anyway, I had better put my order in before my friends start pestering me. Thanks again for the offer to catch up. He gestured back to random faces. But it was amazing to see you again, Maria. And I keep meaning to pop by the bakery again. I confess I miss your papa's sweet treats and fresh bread. He took another step closer and gave her a shy smile, watching her reacting to it with a slight blush. It took everything in Adrien to remain calm and not to punch this guy who was trying to steal his girl. If I can be so bold, I've missed hanging out with you, with everyone. Why not say a quick hello? If your other friends don't mind, that is. Maria darted her eyes from the large takeaway cup to Boniface in her bashful way that only was meant for Adrien. I'm sure he's busy, Adrien added through gritted teeth. Boniface shot him a sly grin. No matter how amazing that would be, I'm afraid Adrien is right. But we should meet up soon. Do you have the same number? I could send you a text or a call. Yeah, I understand, and that would be great. It's the same. The number hasn't changed. Oh, that smile. Adrien felt like his heart was aching and breaking at having to watch this scene play out. Did she really hate him that much for her to be flirting with another guy in front of him? Did she really think Adrien wouldn't mind? Wouldn't care if she... Oh, the ending of that thought didn't bear thinking about. Speaking of friends, we had better get these back to ours before they get cold. He hovered a hand out in front and was about to touch her shoulder. A usual gesture, but stopped himself. Instead, pointed in the direction of Nina. He's right, she shrugged. But it was nice to see you again, Boniface, and I'm sorry it was short. I'll reach out very soon. And yeah, I'm glad I bumped into you again. He grinned, and she chuckled. You too, Adrien. I'm sure I'll see you around. He pointed to the nearest image of Adrien on the side of a billboard across the street and got another chuckle out of Maria. Adrien couldn't hate this guy more even if he tried, picturing in his mind how Cat Noir could torment him. I wonder if he had a fear of heights. Treasuring that thought, he turned his back on Boniface, hoping he can break them out of this alternative reality before he had to... Was this guy really the love interest of the story? What would the author gain from it? Either way, time was not on his side. What took you guys so long? Did you end up growing the grapes, turning them into wine, and then mulling them? Alya glanced between Maria and Adrien. Nothing happened, did it? Maria handed Alya one of the cups. No, we bumped into someone. Do you remember Boniface? He was in the year above in school. Oh, yeah. He was in the year above at university too, I think. Didn't he have the biggest crush on you back then? Not that you noticed anyone but Adrien. Anyway, how's he doing? It's been a while. Adrien noticed Alya saying sorry through her look before fixing her eyes on the cup and blowing into the tiny drinking hole. He didn't say much. Adrien added in, hoping it might break the tension. I invited him to join us, but he was with another group of friends. But I did offer for us all to catch up soon. Maria glanced back at the crowd with a small smile drifting across her lips. Which I bet he agreed to. Alya couldn't help teasing. A friendly catch-up? That would be nice, but right now we have a gingerbread stall to scout out. Teeks lifted her nose into the air as if she was a sniffer dog on a mission. I'll pretend I didn't hear that, for Papa Dupin's sake. Nino huffed, turning away from Teeks. All three of them laughed and linked arms as they weaved through the crowd. Adrien couldn't help feeling disconnected somehow. These were his friends, but weren't at the same time. Small changes meant he didn't belong. Never mind the Adrien in this reality didn't hang out with them, causing a bigger challenge than he had originally thought. He noticed Maria at his side, keeping a similar pace to him. Maybe this was his chance to finally speak to her, build back enough of their relationship so that she could trust him again. Maria, what we were saying. Adrien edged a little closer so that she could hear him over the noise of the crowd, when a tinkling bell sound came from the phone in her hand. She stared at the screen and an instant smile formed on her lips. Oh, wait a second. Could you hold this for me? She held out the large cup of mulled wine for him. Yeah. Using the cup to step closer and studied the screen to only find a message from Boniface. I thought I would send a message, so you had my number too. Another bell sounded out. It was truly good seeing you again, and you haven't changed in a few years. I was wondering if you're not too busy or not tangled up with anything. Do you fancy grabbing a coffee and catching up? Just the two of us. Adrien almost lost the grip of both cups in his hand as his whole body went numb. That was fast. Way faster than he expected from this so-called author, but the worst was the sound of Maria letting out an excited giggle. His eyes shot from the screen to her face and then back at the screen as her thumb jumped around the small keyboard. Yeah, I would love to. Are you free tomorrow? Maria replied. No, this couldn't happen. What to do? How does he stop it? Thanks. Her fingers brushed against his as she took back the cup. He couldn't help himself at staring at her, questioning what she was doing. What was she thinking? Was she serious or simply trying to get back at Adrien? She gave nothing away but simply said, Where have they gone? We had better catch up before we lose them, before darting forward. Adrien tried to follow. He tried to take a simple step forward, but he couldn't. He couldn't move an inch no matter how he tried. Then, in front of him, as he watched the back of Maria, the words, "To be continued," flashed before him. The author had finished the chapter before he had the chance to speak to Maria. He hadn't achieved what he was set out to do. Instead, the opposite had happened with the arrival of Boniface. In that moment, everyone around him froze. Would it be like the one time he had witnessed before? Without warning, a blinding white light flashed in front of his eyes. He shut them as a falling sensation hit the pit of his stomach. No. He was time jumping again. No! Stop! He can't let it go again. Forcing his eyes open, noticing instantly the world around him had changed. He was still in the park, but it was daytime instead of the evening. The weather was warmer as the heat of the sun bore down on him, causing his spinning head to swirl more. Where there had been wooden huts, now stood bushes and swaying daffodils. It looked like he had missed Christmas. He had even missed the rest of winter and was now the start of spring at the very least. He felt sick and exhausted. He needed to sit down on one of the benches, or even find his base and get some rest. He couldn't think when was the last time he had full night's sleep, and all this time jumping was taking a toll on him. Plagg. Hey buddy, I'll get you some cheese soon. But all he got was a moan in response. He tried taking a step forward, but his legs felt like they were made out of lead, too heavy to shuffle, never mind actually lifting to walk. Adrien? What? You... Wait! Hold on! It was her sweet voice calling out to him through the fog that was filling his head. Without warning, his body went limp, but instead of crashing to the ground, he felt arms wrap around him, pulling him into a warm embrace. I've got you. Adrien? Her words were the last thing he could recall before his world turned black. Thank you for listening to chapter 5 of A Winter's Dream. I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you are, make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and what will happen in the next one. And I promise you chapter 6 will be coming out very soon, so make sure you look out for that. And make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on this series or other one-shots are happening coming your way at the moment. And I hope you're good, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.